Om Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahma Vidvaram Satgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. As long as we live, act we must. Action is the expression of life itself. Where there is no activity, a person is dead, we say. Everyone does action to get some result or to achieve a certain goal. And when we get what we want, we call it as success. However, if that success does not give us long-term satisfaction, such fulfillment of a desire which is so fleeting, its joy, that leaves behind a craving for more and more and more, such desires prompt us into hectic activity where it is only important to get the result, while the action itself becomes a struggle. And we keep on struggling for some fleeting joys, get attached to it, wanting more and more of it and not knowing better. Some set some goals for themselves, something that will give them a greater sense of achievement, which will bring about some expression of their potential and will give them a long-term joy. However, even when we perform for such goals, most people are disappointed when they do not get their goal the way they had wanted, or achieve their goal to the extent that they wanted, and thus consider themselves as failures. Or due to that disappointment, very often stop performing to achieve, or better perform to achieve that goal. However, excellence is beyond all this. Because when we do our actions with the best that we can pour into it, then there is a sense of satisfaction, a sense of joy in the performance of that action itself. This is to summarize what Sri Krishna explains in the later portion of the second and then the third and the fourth chapter as karma yoga. Most people understand karma yoga to be just doing a lot of actions. Then every donkey would be a karma yogi, as our Gurudev would roar and say. It is not hard work or struggle that makes karma yoga. No doubt, one has to put in any endeavor, for any project, for any goal, material or spiritual, one has to put in one's action, one's effort. Still, when we do our actions efficiently, then only what we experience is the happiness that comes from the achievement of our goal. If by any means we try to attain our goal, then we could even cheat, we could do something wrong, we could even commit a crime and still achieve it. Or like Ravana deceitfully achieve his desire by kidnapping Sita deceitfully. In that, there is no glory of the attainment of the goal. However, when we want success which is long-lasting and satisfying, not only our goals must be high, our intent behind that goal should be noble, and we should work towards it in the right manner, by the right means. Then there is no regrets, there are no contrary feelings or results, and when we do those actions rightly, then the joy of attaining such a goal is indeed more fulfilling. Yet, when we excel in our action, not just the result of our action, the action itself becomes a melody. That action itself becomes such a joyful performance that moment to moment, when we enjoy the very process of our action, the result is just a bonus. Bhagavan Shri Krishna elaborately picks up this theme because Arjuna, at this moment, not having the knowledge of the infinite, permanent self, which being infinite is the source of supreme happiness, naturally is involved in attainment of the objects of desire or even one's goal. When we act with anxiety, when we act with attachment to the result, and we are obsessed with the result, and this is a very, very important aspect in our spiritual sadhana, in our journey towards fulfillment, satisfaction, and permanence, that until and unless this element is not there in our practice, action becomes a struggle, and the results of action might create excitement but further create more bondage. Therefore, when Krishna tells Arjuna, karmani eva adhikarate, that at this moment you have to act, and for you is the path of action. but very briefly says, and then later on elaborates, ma phaleshu kadachana. Do not be attached or anxious for the fruits of action. That is the basis of karma yoga that he points out. But never should you be inactive. When Bhagwan has explained this to Arjuna, naturally that thought that comes in any intelligent person, intellectual person, would be, then why should I do any actions? But Krishna points out, yoga karmasu kaushalam. He says, yoga is excellence in action. Very often translated as skill in action, efficiency in action. But he says, yoga is excellence in action. And what is this yoga? He says, samatvam yoga uchyate. Equanimity of mind is yoga. This word yoga, which means union, and we want union with happiness, union with our goal, and the supremost goal is happiness, and that happiness is the nature of the self. And through such performance, normally when we do action full of anxiety for the result, and then when we react to the result and develop likes, dislikes, and further desire, and are then prompted into stressful action, this is called as bondage in action. And therefore, to fulfill such small term pleasures or small term goals, all our life goes in struggling, and even our performance deteriorates due to the disappointment, the stress, the anxiety. Karma yoga, as pointed out by Sri Krishna, is bringing that excellence in your performance, that every moment of the journey itself becomes a joy. And this is possible when there is equanimity of mind. Whenever you have done some action, not even to prove to yourself or to prove to others or get appreciation from others, or even to get a particular result, when you have just painted on a canvas just for the sake of painting, just for the sake of expressing your talent, your skill, without your mind being disturbed by the anxieties for the results in the future, nor regretting any incident or failures of the past, and in the present, without any excitement or any anxieties, when you perform your action, you are able to express your talent, which is in you, just for the sake of expressing. At the same time, if you do an action with love, just as, say, a parent or say mother, grandmother, when she, through her regular practice of cooking for the family, has become expert in cooking. However, even a master chef, food might be delicious, but if it is not done with that love for cooking itself, it is only to win a competition or to get a recognition. One does not pour in their best, but the best comes out when there is love. And therefore, when we eat food cooked by the grandmother with love, not only out of the sense of duty, she's not even looking out for any appreciation, but when that food is cooked with love, served with love, and fed with love, you all know that even the restaurant food does not feel so nourishing, and you keep on reveling in what you ate in your grandmother's house. Imagine if every action was done in that spirit. And when, along with that, there is a sense of gratitude, the feeling of how blessed am I, how much I have been given, and that confidence that comes in the acknowledgement of what we have already received and what we have, our abilities, our talents, what the society has poured into us, what we have got from nature, and what we have got from Ishvara, God Himself. And when we do out of gratitude, there is not this ego also in that action, that I am doing it out of some favor or obligation. But when I do it with that gratitude, there is no sense of ego. And when we do it for the larger good, for the greater good, for benefiting the world from whom we have received so much, suddenly what comes out of us, that spontaneous expression of our action, brings about such an excellence. And because it is not limited by some fixed gain, the expression of such action produces such a magnificence that we surprise ourselves that was it possible also to achieve so much in our life. And as a result of such actions, one does not get attached, one does not get bound, one does not even think, what did I get out of it? Because I feel so enriched. And therefore, Bhagwan Shri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita points out that the secret of excellence is to perform your actions the way the wise have performed and the wise have instructed. In fact, the whole of creation, and that's why when we look at nature, each moment, every day, every sunset, every flower, every tree, the whole universe, each moment seems to just exceed itself, exceed its excellence. And when we are expressing our swabhava, our natural temperament, and according to that swabhava, our nature, wherever we are placed with whatever responsibility, which is our swadharma, our duty, when we perform those actions, and it comes naturally to us with dedication, as a love offering to the Lord from whom we have received everything, that action has a glow of excellence. Efficiency becomes natural, and the gain, no doubt, magnifies in the world itself. But when we are attached to one fixed, limited result, we do not even notice that we get much more when we do an action efficiently than even what we desired for. And very often, for a limited result, we keep ourselves so anxious, our performance is not at its best, because only with a focused mind, therefore Shri Krishna calls it as buddhi yoga, with a focused intellect where there is determination, when there is one single pointed goal, and that is out of gratitude and love, doing all actions for that Lord from whom we have gained everything. When that action is performed, and when Krishna says, yoga karmasu kaushalam, a certain skill arises in that action, that we perform that action excellently, but at the same time, we are free from stress, anxiety, disappointments, and in a subtler sense, we are free from the bondage that comes as a result of action, which compels us to act with anxiety. And such a mind, when it is calm, sama, such a clear mind, the intellect becomes single-pointed, focused. It develops the capacity to understand the subtler knowledge and even to transcend itself and abide in the infinite self. Therefore, Bhagavan has explained Annad Bhavanti Bhutani, that all beings, their bodies, come from food. Food means that which we produce, which is consumable, and therefore productivity. All prosperity comes in this world, and life is sustained when there is food. And where does food come from? Comes from rain. Parjanyad anna sambhavaha. But where does rain come from? And suddenly we will think that Krishna is suddenly saying something which is erratic. But he says, rain comes from yajna. And what is yajna? We think is some ritualistic sacrifice. But all that we have explained, that when we do our action with the attitude that this is my gratitude, my worship, my offering to that Lord who has provided me with the most excellent in this world. And it is our duty to express that excellence as an offering to the Lord. Rain means the conducive climate. And rain comes also when the ocean sacrifices or offers itself to become water vapor. Water vapor offers itself to become the clouds. The clouds travel far and wide and pour upon the plains and the deserts and the mountains. And the rainwater flows through the river and reaches back to the ocean. And in this cycle of sharing, receiving and giving, in this mutual teamwork, such a synergy is produced that the right climatic atmosphere that brings about rain, which brings about productivity, which enriches life on this planet. Know that any yajna is done through action. And therefore, action should not be condemned. Action becomes our worship. And the Geeta has taken worship from the places of worship to make the whole world our place of worship, temple, church, mosque, gurdwara, Buddha vihar, and every action of ours into worship. And when we do our actions with such reverence, with such love and gratitude, knowing that whatever result comes to us will come according to the wisdom and love of the all-benevolent intelligent Lord of the universe, we carefree do our actions, not carelessly. Carefree do our action, and the action that is done with this attitude. Sri Krishna says that such is the instructions of the scriptures, and in such action there is a glow of divinity. In fact, it leads us to the supreme bliss or Brahman. There is a glow of divinity, and from such a person we find the very expression of God. And therefore, tasmat sarvagatam brahma nityam yagge pratishtitam. And that all-pervading existence, consciousness, bliss, that Brahma resides or shines forth wherever we, giving up our own selfish ego and our own limited attachments, work in the spirit of teamwork, gratitude, then the synergy that arises, the efficiency that arises, the mutual support that comes in, that in any project, including in our life, we begin not only to see this glow of excellence, but each moment begin to see more and more and start exceeding our excellence. Each time is a continuous feeling of fulfillment and happiness. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Work we must. We have got duties to perform in life. Perform them. Your anxiety must be that every action that you are doing is as excellent as possible. The competition is not with another. You compete with yourself. Every day's your performance must improve upon the beauty and efficiency of the performance of yesterday. And then your mind is in the present. Naturally, the work becomes excellent. Excellent work shall produce excellent results. We cheat ourselves from our successes by our unintelligent dissipation of the mind in our over-anxiety for the fruits thereof. Krishna is giving a tip to Arjuna. Here is a wonderful field for you to achieve. And in achieving, do your duty. Fight out the battle. Let every arrow go and hit the point that you want to hit. Don't worry about the future. Don't evaluate that their army is larger than our army. Will we win? Don't dissipate and distract your mind. Keep your mind calm and serene. Your anxiety must be excellent, is the goal. Learn to work thus with your mind where your hands are working. We don't do it. We work with our hand, our mind is wandering all over. So the hand that is working is a mindless hand. Mindless hand cannot afford to expect any great results. Think. Keep your mind where your hands are functioning. Be here now and act. We are never here, we are everywhere but not here. See? Either we are wandering in the past, I should not have done it, I don't know why I did it. Or you are in the future, will I get the result, etc. You are never here and now. Think. Learn to be here and now. Bring all your mind and your attention and awareness there where the hand is doing a job. The performance will become excellent. Excellent performance will always give you excellent results. Here is a tip for how to achieve excellent results with your work.
2020 vision is associated with clarity of vision. So in this year of 2020, as we see Puja Swami Chinmayananda's vision further unfold and grow, Chinmaya Mission UK has created a vision for the future for this and the next generation. Chinmaya Mission UK has planned a full renovation of Chinmaya Kirti to meet the growing needs of all of our Mission Wings activities and to build the heart of Chinmaya Mission UK for a new generation. Chinmaya Kirti has been the focal point of all mission activities for the past 16 years, where we have seen both our numbers and events grow. It is now time to think about future growth and ensure that we have a center, a home that is fit for the next generation, so that they have a place where they can learn, grow, develop, and serve. This renovation will start from November this year and is expected to take at least 14 months, after which the center will have an expanded main hall, accommodating up to 300 people and enabling a greater number to participate in events. More classrooms to accommodate our study classes on the first floor, with a dedicated prayer hall and a new bookshop and living quarters for the resident acharyas, a conference room and satsang room, all on the brand new second floor. If you believe in the importance of the work that Chinmaya Mission does and the need to ensure that this is preserved for our children and their children, then we request you to come forward and support this great vision. The renovation is currently forecasted to cost £1.5 million. Donations can be made via chinmayabooks.com/shop/Chinmayakirti.
जय भगवती ते मैया जय भगवती ते हरिया कमल विहारिणी सुंदर सुपुनीते मैया जय भगवती ते कर्म सुमर्म प्रकाशिनी कामासक्ति हरा तत्व ज्ञान विकासी विद्या ब्रह्म परा मैया जय भगवती ते निश्चल भक्ति जय भगवत गीते। आसुर भाव विनाशिनी नाशिनी अमरजनी दैवी सद्गुणदाय हरि रसिका सजनी मैया जय भगवत गीते। समता त्याग सिखावे हरि मुख की वाणी सकल शास्त्र की स्वामी श्रुतियों की रानी मैया जय भगवत गीते। दया सुधा वर सावन मातु कृपा की जय हरि पद प्रेम दान कर अपनों कर लीजे मैया जय भगवत